You're bringing a little California love to the booth.
All the way from the mainland, yeah. How's this setup, and how's this, the Crosby and Jake and Griffin, these guys grew up competing against each other for their whole life, so it's so bizarre for me to see them doing it on the major stage, at each other.
You guys, things already got started in an enormous way. Bonsoy replay, J.Marshall went to Hammertown, Jesse.
Oh my gosh, didn't he what? There's just something about Jake surfing that feels elevated. It feels spicy this year. Giving us so much variety on this wave, putting it on rail, and look at how this one grows down the line, straight up into the pocket. The way he's sitting just a half beat on the foam so that he can stay nice and vertical as that wave bowls up towards him. His legs would be absolutely burning by now. So he comes through, lays into a massive finish there.
Crosby's turn to answer. The younger Colapinto just finding his way through that first carve and rips it back into the power source. Nice patience through this part of the wave. He'll throw the carve and now see this thing really pick up the pace. Cros with the fin throw. Wraps it right on the money. Cros whipping that one over that big section and rides away. Griff coming up next. Hey, this was Crosby's answer. Tanner, what'd you see on this one?
I feel like this is kind of indicative of what we will see in this heat. Crosby's showing a little bit more variety within his turns. Jake is such a rail wizard, and it's cool to see him unload on his waves. I feel like with Crosby, his little X factor is kind of turns where he pops the tail like that. We saw it at Bells as well, where he's just blasting air reverses, and he really plays to that strength. But Jake got such a great wave.
Hard as he did on that end section is really impressive from Jake.
Second wave for J.Marshall in the making. Wetting the rails to get things started, punching the white water. It's got not much open face, but some things can change down the stretch. You see it growing a bit. Finds a section to work with off the top, moving down the line. Nice water off the tail again, and now into some cleaner water that he's found down the bank. Just kind of a hustler type wave, had to stay engaged the whole time, flaring up with his start, but that'll be a nice backup for the time being, Tanner.
Absolutely, and we know how much Griffin means to Crosby. Obviously, they're brothers, but he looks up to him so much to channel that energy and still beat him. You can see Crosby's growing each event.
Waves are spitting, and tails are getting chucked out the back. Cros on a bomb. Loved that entry into that wave, or an aggressive first turn. Now he's got the pace, staying comfortable with his instincts. Nice clear mind. And he'll just keep that paced carve going until he has a little cup to work with here. Sharp off the bottom, blitzes the lip line, going for the 2-for-1 bonus, ends up losing the finale.
This turn right here is out of the box, huge takeoff, straight, throw the tail out. That section has so much water and vortex within it for him to hold on and then just kind of start to get to the wave. If he had really finished this ride, I believe this would have been an incredibly high score. But yeah, to your point, Joe, Crosby, he's catching fire. I feel like whoever's coming out of this heat realistically is going to kind of open up an account, and they realistically could go pretty far in the event by virtue of how good they're both surfing.
Yeah, nice pace, nice rhythm. Didn't try to run away from these sections and just got a little clipped at the tail end. So still the advantage of Jake at the start, but when waves are spitting at snapper, we're on our feet freaking out.
He would have felt that and also been like, damn, I could have been in the barrel. Obviously, there's a bit of a sweep this morning with this a little bit more south in the swell. It's pushing our competitors down the point. So Crosby, it's really hard to stay.
Not standing up for a while, I was pretty happy to get a decent score, and momentum shifted.
Well, mate, congratulations through the next round. Hopefully a few more waves come your way and we get to see you tee off again. These grommets, by the way, the Bonsoy board caddies, they were just like, can we stand next to Ethan? We just want to stand next to him.
Yes, good job. Thanks for coming down.
Back to you guys, mate.
It's interesting to hear him talk about that heat, because I free surfed this morning and the current is so strong, noticing that it kind of got him a little unglued, a little emotional after getting that wave, because it's tough. It almost feels like you're running and you have to make these last second decisions. Is this a good wave or a bad wave? You're looking up the point and you don't really know. So it all worked out for Ethan in that last one. It's cool.
Some paced carves from Crosby as the open face is just staying full now into more of a wall to really sink his teeth into it. Pushing hard off the rails again on that lost surfboard. Getting to the lip line, chucks the tail, layback, and recovery. Trying to really put some more points on that big.
I would have loved to have seen him maybe get 1 or 2 more turns down the line. It felt like I had a bit more energy, but this is definitely Crosby's best.
Cros just had to pace to start on this one, Tanner.
Oh yeah, it's so fun to watch this heat unfold. As you can see, Jake opening up so strong, and then Crosby sort of getting some rhythm, and almost being forced, like you guys were saying, to surf a little harder in his turns, and it's starting to work out.
There's that little combo that he really enjoyed, Jesse.
I love, especially this turn here, the wave was still bowling up the face there. So the fact that he threw the tail, re-engaged the fins, and didn't even look like he was willing to bobble on that turn.
Crosby tags it. Now J.Marshall's coming. The rail savant just putting a little turn through the lip, arcs it in front of the cross, and will step off. And now the battle for priority begins. Kaipo, nice exchange there.
Watching these guys in the free serves, talking to some local guys like Jay Phillips, on the higher tide, it does tend to push a bit wider. So Jake acknowledging that, finding one of those wider sets that held up down the rest of the bank. I really was interested to see what he got done out the back here, because Jake, he looked really fired up through this inside, drawn out roundhouse. I just love how smooth his rail surfing is into a really tidy drift up and over the cope line here. And this is where we caught up with it. He starts to get nice and loose through this inside section. This little Marley sand is unreal.
And this is the major leagues. This is a venue here that is one of those ones where it's iconic for that reason, as we see Crosby just unloading again and again. Seems to have found a really good wave here.
And just really opening up strong. He was able to catch his rail in a good way to recover from that off the top. But he didn't have to wait and pace to start. He got to really dig in with some good power hooks. Colapinto will step off there. And looking to improve on a 5.67, needs an 8.01 to catch up with Jake.
Maybe he was getting caught up with surfing down the line a little bit. Comes to the start, he's really tight in the pocket. Flares out that tail. Here's that speed check again. He could have actually gone up into that and still had time to come back around and lay into these carbs. Again, beautiful surfing. He's really finding his momentum. This wave was never going to have that bowly end section. You can see it was starting to taper down the line. So that moment that he floated over, he probably should have just belted that, solidified that section, and given the judges the reason to give him a score above a 6.5.
It's funny in heats like this.
Just having unbelievable rail lines to get himself into several quarterfinals. He's peaked there, but he's definitely hoping that he can go further this season on tour. Cros takes this wave under priority. Super clean with those carves into the pocket. He finds a low road starting to build and double up. Cros throws that one away, looking for a punt.
That's a good way to go about it. I mean, throw something super progressive on a critical section. Think back to Cal Robbo yesterday doing that as well. There's not going to be an 8 on these inside ones, so he's trying to break down that requirement. It can get really tiring paddling in that sweep too, so maybe just, he is the epitome of technique and just flair and style and class, especially on a wave like Snapper. You could watch him over and over again out here.
Wow, Cros has to give way. Priority with Marshall. Smart move from Jake, and he's throwing some arcs. Beautiful timing off the lip there. Nice pace. Finding the coping to drill it again. Just real easy to watch this rhythm. Jake putting together a classic in this matchup with Cros. Throwing a wrap on this inside shoulder. Jake lost to Crosby a couple of years ago in a quarterfinal in Portugal. He's been waiting for another rematch. Closes it out really comfortably. And his camp's loving it. Alyssa Spencer, Chris Gallagher. Jake's also has his wife here, giving him all the support that he needs as he will move on to round 3 action. And that's what you love about Snapper 2. You don't have to have big, aggressive aerial combinations. Power's never going to go out of style. And for Jake's rail work, this could take him a long way, Jesse.
Reflect upon your heat, because that first wave you got an 8.83, just chef's kiss, exquisite surfing, pure line, beautiful connection. The tempo was on point and the power was on display. What a way to kickstart a heat, mate. Take us through it.
Yeah, that was great. I mean, the waves were looking a little tricky out there, so I was like, couldn't believe how that wave just kept doubling up and giving me section after section. Oh, here it is. Kind of started off a little small, and then right here just like grew into such a good wave, and it was kind of just on me to not bog it. But yeah, just my board felt insane. Like I got this swallowtail, file 50. I haven't ridden a swallowtail in like ages, so it was kind of funny, like just randomly ordered one and it ends up just working insane. But yeah, I mean, the wave kind of stole the show, I would say, on this one, and I was stoked to just open my account and finish it off. And yeah, it felt really good. To like the first couple events, I feel like I barely even have gotten to surf. Like I've just been like sitting out there with no waves in all my heats, so just to like ride a wave and get a good score, it just felt like super good. And it always feels good when you put up an excellent score, like validates your surfing and your confidence.
It does, man. And importantly, it came at the start of that heat. Ethan was actually with me when you caught that wave, and he was like, man, I waited 20 minutes for that thing. You know, to get one that really cups the bank perfectly from start to finish is actually pretty rare. How much pressure does it put on you to sort of get that back up, though? Because we've seen crew out there just going almost like sit themselves out of the heat, even with a good score.
For sure. I started like kind of like making a couple mistakes in the middle of that heat, and I kind of like let Crosby back into it. And luckily I felt like the last 10 minutes I did a good job of like holding my priority, and I picked a good one on that last wave just to like keep him off of it, you know, which was like kind of the most important thing at that point. But I definitely like missed one really good one that I didn't go on, and then I turned around and I could just see it peeling down the whole bank. So but snapper's tough. Like you never know exactly which one's going to double up, so you can't like be too hard on yourself for maybe like not going on a wave or going on the wrong wave. You kind of just got to keep rolling the dice and keep swinging, and hopefully you get two good ones in a heat, I think.
Must feel so great, mate, to you know, get out here, wash off the first two events with a wave like that, and you know, that is going to give you a lot of confidence heading into these next rounds.
For sure. This is like the warm-up and stuff for this event. It's probably like the best I've felt so far this year. It's just been good to surf like a lot of fun waves. Like we were having a lot of grindy free surfs at the last couple comps, so been having a lot of fun over here and super stoked on my board. Like board feels really good, surfing feels good, so yeah, I can't thank the guys at Sharp Eye enough, and just like, yeah, I am for the event and hopefully ready to do some more good surfing, catch some good waves.
Unreal, mate. Thanks for that. Loved every second of it.
Thank you.